Alright guys, this is Jason with the Primal Outdoors channel, and today I'm with Kevin with Lifestyle Overland, and he's getting ready to do something really cool with his family, I think, and something that I've even thought about for myself, and that is to start to live out of his overland rig. So before we get really started into this, I have to make sure that Kevin is fully prepared for this interview with a little Pendleton whiskey. This is the Director's Reserve.
Oh, nice.
I figure it's, since this is a special occasion, we don't always get together like this, you know, so why not have something a little better than the typical house whiskey.
Special occasion, nice. That's good stuff.
All right.
Cheers.
So tell the audience a little bit, or my audience, I guess, a little bit about what made you decide this. You know, what preparation a little bit that you kind of went through.
Right.
What gear do you got?
Okay.
And stuff like that.
Okay. Well, the idea behind it was, as a family, you know, we've been going on several overland trips. You know, some of them have extended durations, and it's kind of become a part of our life. We love it. You know, background is, you know, my family didn't get to get out a lot. I saw my granddads and stuff, you know, work their whole lives away and never get to go and explore. And what I wanted to do is to have a special connection with my daughter and to take her places that many places people never ever get to see. And so so we made a decision as a family that at this stage in our lives we had this window where we could financially take some of our money and just invest that into this grand adventure. In the meantime, you know, we have the YouTube channel that has kind of taken off. People seem to be intrigued with what we're doing and the family aspect of it all. So about 7 or 8 weeks ago, we decided, you know what, let's do this. Let's sell our assets. Let's take that money. Let's make that our operating capital, and see if we can't go out and have this grand adventure. And in the meantime, maybe the YouTube channel takes off. Maybe, you know, sponsorships come along that would perpetuate that. So our end goal is, as a family, to go out there and explore this incredible country that we have in front of us. We're going to start from, actually we already started from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to the Arctic Ocean, and just meander our way. We don't have a set plan. We don't have an itinerary, and that's the beauty of it, is we can travel at our own pace. We can see the things that we want to see. And so we sold everything, and we've been living out of the Turtleback and the 4Runner now for 5 weeks, getting some more preparation things in place. So we've installed a storage system that we want to make into a alternate sleeping platform. So if we get into bad weather or a bear situation or something like that, we have a safe place to retreat to. Then we added some other things like LED lighting, so we improved all of our lighting all the way around. We're going to have a new suspension installed on the Turtleback. We have this incredible Icon suspension that they just developed and has been released. So that's some of the highlights of the gear that we've actually started to add to the rig. It was already ready, but you know, when you're going full time like that, you want to make sure you have super high quality, all the spit and polish done on all the electronics and things like that. And so we've just kind of done a refit and make sure that we're confident in the build and that we're going to be able to travel into the depths of Alaska and the Yukon territories and things like that without fear of a breakdown or malfunction.
So you've been going out and camping like the rest of us, you know, weekends, things like that, a little bit longer trips and stuff like that with this system already a lot of times, but preparing for something like that and preparing to live out of it is a completely different thing. So can you maybe touch just a little bit on that, like that difference between going out camping for a weekend or a week and living in it, what you kind of had to think about?
Absolutely. So obviously you bring more underwear. And you know, so the practical things, you know, I don't have a washer and dryer on board, so you try and maximize the amount of clothes that you can potentially take. So you bring multiple layers and things like that. So we've had to revisit exactly what that looks like. So we have one coat, you know, we have one light jacket, we have maybe 2 or 3 long sleeve shirts, 2 or 3 short sleeve shirts, and I mean, it sounds tedious, but at some point you got to go, well, this is my box, and I have to live out of this box for my clothes moving forward. So what we have is about 8 or 9 days worth of clothes, and we can stretch that if we have to. So we will have to stop at a laundromat from time to time, or maybe if we get real creative, learn how to wash them in another apparatus. And then there's things.
I just recently did laundry in a creek, just so you know.
Oh, really? Okay, so we're going to talk about that. I'll give you some ideas. And one reality that's kind of slapped us in the face once we started all this was sickness. I mean, we've been fighting. All three of us have fought sickness in some way, shape, or form since we began this trip. And so our medical kit is pretty extensive at this point, you know, with over-the-counter medicines and things like that, so that if we are away from civilization, we're going to be able to. I'll pause for a second. That's got loud.
Yeah. Anyways, we just paused for a minute there. I should remind you guys, we're actually at Expo West. It's over with at this point, but there are people still kind of packing up. There's some vehicles, so you might hear some odd noises and some different things as we continue on here. But anyways, go ahead.
So moving on to like health issues and things like that. I mean, you got to think about, do I have enough aspirin? Do I have enough Tylenol? Do I have even NyQuil? You know, if I catch the flu or something like that, just to have those things that are going to make you at least functional till you can get to professional care if that became an issue. So real big reality check for us right here in the beginning. So, you know, we're developing a checklist of the over-counter medicines that we have, and also like things like EpiPens. You know, there's certain things that my daughter hasn't necessarily been exposed to, and we're going to a whole new area that I've necessarily not been exposed to. And so there's always that possibility of anaphylactic shock, you know, if you know, stung by a bee or eat the wrong food or something like that. And so we've actually, you know, talked to the doctors about that, and they were actually able to write us a prescription. So it's things like that that could be life-saving, but it's just a small little detail. So there's kind of been a long trail of logic that we've kind of had to follow down on what if, and we'll continue to do that as we travel in the States. But once we get to, you know, Yukon territory and deeper into Alaska and things like that, we'll be self-sufficient, and we got to be ready to treat ourselves at that stage of the game. And then food. So we have quite a bit of storage in the Turtleback for dry goods and things like that. I actually have about 2 months worth of Mountain House that we're carrying with us, because if we were to get broke down or snowed in by, you know, some kind of freak snowstorm or something like that, when we're out in the territories, at least we have sustenance that's going to maintain us until either help can arrive or we can extract ourselves from that situation. It's probably a little bit overboard, but you know, it's very small, lightweight things. So why not carry that?
Yeah, no, plus, I think that's a great idea.
This is not a plug because I don't get paid to say this, but Mountain House is good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put that in my mama's casserole dish, set it on her table, and I go, Mama, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, I always keep. I mean, I don't think I have 2 months worth, but I definitely have a good week's worth, but at this point I'm not really gone that far as like you guys have. Gotcha. Now, another question I have too, like, so how old is your daughter?
She's 5.
Okay. So what do you think, kind of a lesson or value that you think she'll gain out of this experience?
I think appreciation for the outdoors, appreciation for what we're stewards of. Something happened here at Expo that kind of made me choke up a little bit. We were walking through the vendor area, and my daughter, she lets go of my hand and stops, and she goes, "Whoa, Daddy!" And she reaches down and she picks up a piece of trash, and she goes, "We need to throw this away." And I was like, that is what I want to instill, that mindset of, it doesn't matter that someone else dropped it. We're not mad about that. We're just simply going to fix the issue and clean up the trash. And I think that if we could develop a culture in the overlanding community to a fault, like, it's just what you do. If there's trash, you just clean it up. And the more people we have out there doing that, the longer we're going to keep these public lands accessible and open to ourselves. So, you know, the primary character trait that we want to instill in her is a sense of good stewardship, obviously. So as we get out here and enjoy this incredible creation that we have, we want to see her appreciating it for what it is. And then the other side of it is teaching her practical skills, wilderness skills, things like that, and appreciation for the little things, because in this day and age and in this culture, we struggle with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We struggle with an addiction to stuff, and I'm just as guilty and just as susceptible. But to have the proper perspective, moving forward, I think this is going to be a great exercise for us as what's the most important thing,
Mm-hmm.
and take that aspect and help her to understand, that this life is the greatest gift that we've been given in the time that we have here. So make the most of it.
Right.
Let's get out and let's soak it up and let's enjoy it, and not worry about things, not worry about the next vehicle mod necessarily, not worry about the next movie or the next tablet or the next game or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, let's go sit down by the river and just soak up,
right, or
just
a little campfire or something.
Exactly, or the campfire, and take those moments, because we are such a distracted culture where we're constantly having to have something bombard us with either music or a sitcom or something like that. And so to go and sit in silence for a while, I think is just really important for us as people to learn who we are. And that carries over to myself as well. And what my goal for myself is to get away from the hustle and the bustle and the stress of everyday life, and kind of relearn who I am and what I believe in, what my values are, and things like that. So it's a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah. No, I think you hit on something really, really big. We all look at, I think we're a consuming nation,
right?
And we just keep consuming, and just I just recently, like I said, I'm really interested in this because it's something I'm thinking about doing myself. I just kind of went through and did a major purge of myself, just like, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. And I'm trying to just kind of have that mindset that I do want to eventually probably start spending most all my time in my trailer, if not all my time. And I think with all the camping I have done, I've started to kind of realize that I don't need a lot of stuff, that I'm really quite satisfied with just the few things that I can carry around in this trailer.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's really important. And I think that's something, with your daughter, that I think is going to be really fantastic. Kids today seem to just grow up with just everything handed to them and just having all this stuff, and learning to kind of grow up with a lot less necessarily, in the fact that, she isn't going to just go buy the latest clothes and go buy all the latest games and toys and have all those things, but she's going to have valuable time with you guys.
Right.
Or you're not that parent that's like, hey, I need some quiet time, go play the video game in the corner. You're going to have to kind of work that out and find activities. But I think the activities and stuff that you find for her outdoors are going to be, she's going to remember that all the way, all through her life. It's going to be something that I think is going to make her a step above the average child growing up with just a typical consuming family,
Right. And let's be honest, though, there's still going to be those times where we're going to pull the tablet out. I'm not going to rule that out at all. It's a great backup, but there's a balance.
Yeah.
There's a balance in everything, and so yeah, that's going to be one of the things, is finding that balance and being creative in the methods that we use to teach her. Be creative in the ways that we keep her occupied and keep her growing mind stimulated. So yeah, without always relying on something like that.
So here's a question that you just actually kind of got me. So you're going to be obviously homeschooling her, because obviously you're not going to be able to just go to a regular school. So
and she's still in preschool, so we're really excited about taking this opportunity and really developing a routine for her and being creative in the way that we teach her. I touched on wilderness skills and things like that. So there'll be a practical aspect, and there'll be an academic aspect as well. So I'm really excited about that.
That sounds super.
Really stoked.
Yeah, that sounds like that sounds super rad. So, yeah. Well, anyways, man, I think what you're doing, to be honest, this is something that I've thought about for a long time. And when I came across your channel and then you announced that you were doing this, I was like, for sorry, but for better words, I'm thinking to myself, I need the shitter get off the pot here, you know? And so it's definitely something that I am thinking real heavily about, and especially now as my channel has grown and your channel is doing very well. Like your channel is doing well. You're at like, what, 23,000 now?
Yeah.
And, you know, any of my subscribers who have enjoyed the type of videos that I create about overlanding and using gear, if you're into it, definitely check out Lifestyle Overland. And what's your Instagram?
It's at Lifestyle Overland.
Okay, so it's all the same, Lifestyle.
Yes.
Are you guys going to have a website?
We do have a website, so lifestyleoverland.com, and you'll be able to pick up on all the latest updates from there.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So now how are you going to use your Instagram? Are you going to, is your Instagram going to be like a little bit more of a story kind of updates, kind of filler for the YouTubes?
It's both. You know, there's an artistic side to our Instagram, so you'll get pictures that are recent. You'll get pictures that we've just kind of come across and wanted to reshare. But yeah, we're going to be telling a story. You'll be able to kind of see the progression on our Instagram.
Awesome. Well, man, it's been a real pleasure hanging out with you. And you know, you guys we're a little tired. We enjoyed a little bit too much Pendleton last night until about 1 o'clock in the morning last night while we were here. So, but I have super enjoyed hanging out with Kevin. He's really down to earth, really great guy. So definitely check out his channel, and we'll see you guys again outside.
Awesome. Thank you.